Dana, I have a mystery for you to solve for me.
I'm ready.
So I've been walking around the neighborhood to try to get exercise. It's also been spring break, and I've been very bored. And there's sunlight now because daylight saving time. I don't know which one we're in, but it got
We're in the bad
fixed
one.
What?
We're in the bad one.
It was the bad one in terms of what happened, but it's also very sunny now.
Yeah, I do really I'm totally down with what's happened, but also, good lord, that screwed me up for because I wake up at 6:30 every morning. So losing an hour of sleep was a big deal.
It still hasn't hit for me because it happened over spring break, so I just really haven't adjusted my schedule.
Man, screw you.
I've been trying. I'm very bad at it. Anyway, when I've been walking around, what I keep finding are these basketball goals. But here's the thing about them. Step one, they're very old. They're very, very, very old. They've got rust all over them. The paint is chipped off. Some of them don't even have paint on them anymore. Here's the other thing. They don't have the rims on them anymore. There's no basket for these basketball goals. It's just a backboard on a pole.
Ooh.
And the third strange thing is that they're all in places where it is impossible to play basketball.
Well.
One is just on the side of the road, but facing the road on a hill. So it's not like you can really play basketball because if anyone doesn't catch the basketball, it's going to go down the hill on either side. And also, it's in the middle of the street where the cars live.
I mean, I think that clearly the actual logical answer to this question is that these basketball hoops were built in a time. I guess I shouldn't call them hoops because, as you said, most of the hoop parts are missing. These basketball backboard goal things were built in a time when the world was probably pretty different looking, at least in that area. And that could probably account for literally all of it, except the more interesting solution is clearly aliens.
Well, I was going to say, is there some ancient basketball civilization that we built our city on top of? Because the other weird one is one that's also right next to a very busy road. But it's facing away from the road this time, but instead it's in a forest.
See, facing away from the road isn't necessarily that much better. If that just means that if you miss the goal, you throw the ball into the road.
Yeah, they're all terribly placed, and I don't understand
well, there probably just wasn't road there before.
Right, but why did they get rid of all of the stuff except the basketball goal?
Are these the types of basketball goals that are for lack of a better term, their stems are just are
you saying these were planted?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, basically, do they look like the type that were kind of rooted into the ground? They're just a metal stick, poking into the concrete? Because if that's the case, then they would just probably be impossible.
They're not in concrete, though. They're in dirt.
It's still probably pretty hard.
I think one was actually just on a tree.
Well, that's also difficult to move.
Maybe basketball goals. Maybe it's a conspiracy, Dana. I know I never bring up conspiracies, but this time I'm serious.
Uh-huh.
Don't pay attention how that sentence makes no sense. That's a different conspiracy.
Uh-huh.
What if basketball goals this whole time have been a type of plant? And you grow them. And when you buy a basketball goal, what you're actually buying is you know how you can buy trees that are already mostly grown? Or grown enough that they can you can put them by houses and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That's what basketball goals are.
So what are these? Still growing?
These are real. This is what happens when you actually let them grow.
They just rust?
Yeah, I mean haven't you ever seen an old tree?
Is this where you get ironwood from?
Yes, I didn't know what ironwood is, but it's internally consistent with my story, so I'm going to agree with you. So these, and the rims, so what are the rims then? Are the rims leaves?
They're like fruit.
Or fruit?
Yeah.
It makes one fruit.
No, okay. It's sorry, not like fruit, like flowers. So what this plant has evolved is to look like something that people just cannot resist throwing a ball through, right? And when they're bouncing that ball around, they're getting pollen and other...
spreading the seeds!
Exactly.
Of course! How did I not think of this before?
I don't know. It was very obvious. The key was just to realize that basketball hoops are plants.
I'm just imagining though, like the first time this basketball tree was like set up, and like kids were playing basketball by it on the hill, the one that's a hill, and like literally the first time the basketball like doesn't go to a person, the ball is gone. It's like, I guess that's the end of basketball forever for us.
Oh my
like
God.
It's such a weird place to plant a basketball tree.
Yeah. Oh my God. Please only ever refer to them as basketball trees from now on. It's pretty great.
Now, of course, not every basketball goal is a basketball tree. There are some imitators, like the ones where like they're being hung from the ceiling. Like those obviously aren't basketball trees. We're talking
They're
about
basketball
real
vines.
basketball tree. Basketball vines.
Yeah, basketball
I see
vines.
a different. So is one of them an invasive species like kudzu?
Just because it's a vine does not mean it's an invasive species. Also, kudzu is not an invasive species. That's a myth.
I don't have a lot of great experience with vines that are not shorter than 6 seconds and loop forever. Those are the only kinds of vines I like.
R.I.P.
All the kids are into TikTok now. I'm old.